Welcome back to Smart Life. I am Dr. Gina, and I'm glad you are with us today. We hear all the calls for compromise by politicians in D.C. They say that compromise is what the country was built on, but is that really true? One man who disagrees with the compromise is drummer and political humorist Alfonzo Rachel. Alfonzo, welcome
Hey
to
Doc, how
the
you doing?
show. Good to have you. You can find him on PJTV's Zonation, and he's here with us today, and we're so happy to have him. People think compromise, it's a nice word, and the Republicans, we already have the bad rap, for maybe not being as touchy-feely or as empathic somehow as the other side. So don't we need to be talking more about compromise?
It depends on what the compromise is. They say, for instance, hey, I want to drive this car off a cliff, so and then what's the compromise going to look like? Say, hey, it actually may not be a very good to drive off a cliff in that car. I got an idea. Why don't we use this car to drive off the cliff, and let's see where we can meet in the middle as far as that goes. No, it's just not a good idea to compromise with bad ideas.
Well, but you hear all the time that, this country is about give and take. We've got the Republicans and the Democrats. We have the balance of power, ostensibly, within our government structure between the different branches. Isn't all of that set up for push and pull and ultimately compromise?
Yeah, there is a lot of push and pull, and it's necessary in order for us to keep our checks and balances and make sure that, people talk about the balance of power. America is not founded on being a balance of power. America is founded as a free republic. We should be talking about the balance of freedom. So these freedoms that people want, our freedom shouldn't come at the forced expense of somebody else. What Democrats want, they have a very different idea of what they want America to be. They have a very different idea of what freedom is. And they may act like with their posturing to say that we're compromising, so on and so forth. Any compromise that they want leads us away from being the republic that it was founded to be.
So, what's the alternative really to compromise? It's just both sides dig in and nothing gets done?
um, Nothing's getting done either way. Actually, something is getting done. What's happening is the corrosion of our republic.
Yeah.
That's what's getting done. That is the actual effect that we're seeing. So it's trade one thing for the other. But actually, I would like to see Republicans, hey, let's get in there and be knuckleheads. Let's get in there and make sure that we do not compromise with policies that lead us away from being the republic that we were founded to be. If nothing is getting done, I'm actually more okay with that than something being done in the ways of moving us away from the free republic we were founded to be.
But we saw the bad publicity that we all got, of course, with the sequester and everything else. And then the other side can just say, oh, they stonewall everything we try to do. That's why our economy hasn't improved, because the Republicans won't let anything get done. What should Boehner's message to the American people be with regard to that?
Boehner shouldn't even be in there giving a message.
I agree with you on that. Go ahead.
What it comes down to, as opposed to Republicans, hey, we're supposed to be the pull ourselves by our bootstraps. We're supposed to be grassroots. We're supposed to be the party of the free market. We're supposed to be the party of supply and demand. What we need to do, instead of depending on an elected official to get in there and have all these answers for us, we have to do our work too and get out there and connect with the culture and let them know why these policies on the left do not work, that these policies on the left are at the root of a lot of the discontent in our nation. We have to be able to illustrate, find ways, whether it's through the commentaries that you're doing, music, storytelling, comedy. You got to get out there and relate to people in languages that they can understand before we just say, hey, it's all the politicians' fault.
And you're one of the best at that. You mentioned a couple of the different mediums that you happen to use. One is you are a musician, and the other, of course, is you do a lot of politics. Tell us where we can find your stuff.
Thanks, Gina. I have my website, alfonsorachel.com, and I feature my videos from PJTV called Zonation, and my music group is called 20 Pound Sledge. We are the most Christian, conservative, patriotic rock band in LA. Can you believe it? So if you want to look up for us up there, we're on 20poundsledge.com, 20lbsledge.com.
And I'll tell you what, you make no apologies for your forthrightness, and I love that about you. Zoe, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Tell your beautiful wife we said hello. Folks, you can find Zoe at Alfonzo Rachel on Twitter. And I'm pretty sure Jason linked everything else up there for you on the screen.